תתנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי, על יד בן ישי בית הלחמי, בואי קרובה אל נפשי גאלה, תתנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי, על יד בן ישי בית הלחמי, בואי קרובה אל נפשי גאלה, התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד השם עלייך נגלה. לילי לי 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 ילה לי 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 ילה לי 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 לי, לילי לי 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 ילה לי 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 ילה לי 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 לי, לילי לי 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 ילה לי 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 ילה לי 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 לי, לילי לי 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 ילה לי 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 ילה לי 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 לי. בואי 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 ושלום, בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני ים סגולה, בואי קלה, בואי קלה, בואי קלה, התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי opening up, gathering round, entering in, settling down, opening up, gathering round. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to our Kabbalat Shabbat, our evening service in which we welcome Shabbat. We are live here in our Beth Chaim Sanctuary in person, and we are streaming across the San Ramon Valley to homes of our members and other friends who are joining us tonight. We gather here still in the midst of a terrible war in Ukraine, and we include the people of Ukraine and the people of Russia in our prayer tonight. May they find a way out of this terrible war. May they find a way to live again in peace. This week's Torah portion comes from Sefer Vayikra, from the book of Leviticus. It is Parashat Shmini. It occurs on the 8th day of the preparation of the Mishkan, of the portable sanctuary our people used as this new model of spiritual technology when they were wandering in the desert after coming out of Egypt, receiving the Torah at Mount Sinai. And this moment that should have been one of great celebration somehow goes terribly wrong. Moses and Aaron have been preparing themselves and Aaron's sons, Aaron's older sons, Nadav and Avihu, in how to bring offerings. And it required a precision and an intention. And Nadav and Avihu were so swept up in this new way of communicating with the divine that something went wrong. And the fire from their fire pans took them in a blaze, and they both perished. And it's a great tragedy that we're going to look at tonight and think about how what we can learn ourselves from this story of tragedy.
We have a friend over at Wilderness Torah named Jen Mizell. She's a singer-songwriter and guitarist, composer, and she wrote a song that we want to share tonight called To Be Young and Alive. And we thought it was a very fitting song for tonight because it talks about the hopes and the dreams of young people and the struggles that they face in the world. And it reminded us of the two young men in this week's Parsha.
Oh, what a crazy time to be young and alive. So much before beginning. Oh, the tenderness I feel for the hopes and dreams are they real. I wish upon a star that when I wake we won't be far from walking the song of our love. And when we sleep again with dreams we cannot understand, calling from the unseen world. I am the water rushing ocean swaying. I am the mouth opening. Anticipation's got me waiting on the edge of a cliff whose valley has no end. Oh, how I want to know humility, like the canyon holds the space in between. Her ancient walls standing tall, guiding water home. Guide me, please. I am the water rushing. I am the mountain moving. I am the ocean swaying. I am the mouth opening. Oh, what a crazy time to be young and alive. So much before beginning. Oh, wait to see your face, my stumbling heart, it has no patience. Oh, grace, I want to take you in. Translation of this aching, yearning for what's in the making. Oh, space, I want to fill you in. Just like the water rushing, just like the mountain moving, just like the ocean swaying, just like the mouth opening. I am the water rushing. I am the mountain moving. I am the ocean swaying. I am the mouth opening.
And now it's time to light our Shabbat candles. Tonight we want to invite up Debbie Roof, who's here with us, to come onto the bima and light our candles. If you're at home, please get your candles ready. We invite everyone to participate by first singing in the light with us, and then we'll light the candles.
Sing in the light.
Sing in the light.
Sing in the light.
Sing in the light.
Sing in the light of Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Sing in the light.
Sing in the light.
Sing in the light.
Sing in the light.
Sing in the light of Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. It's fitting tonight that we invite Debbie Roof, our membership chair, who kindles the warmth for so many as they enter into this community. We would love for you to honor us by kindling our Shabbat light tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. Lovely.
And stay with us for the blessing.
We gather in the light, gather in the light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. We turn to Psalm 51, verse 10, to remind us, during the week, sometimes we work and we sometimes we struggle, and sometimes we pick up some schmutz, and Shabbat comes along, and in our tradition, there is an insight that on Shabbat, we receive a neshama yetara, an additional soul. What a beautiful image that reminds us of our soulfulness. So we clear away, we make space for this opening of hearts. And Psalm 51 verse 10 says, Lev tahor barali Elohim, v'ruach nachon chadesh bekirbi. Create a pure heart in me, great spirit. Renew a true soul within me. Please join us. Create a pure heart in me, great spirit. Create a pure heart in me. Create a pure heart in me, great spirit. Create a pure heart in me, and renew a true soul within me, and renew a true soul within, and renew a true soul within me, and renew a true soul within.
We turn to page 12 in our Sidurim and further welcome in this Shabbat time with our tefillah, Shalom Aleichem. Please join us.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Borchem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Borchuni leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzedchem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch we invite you to turn to page 41 in our Sidurim, where we find one of the beautiful, beautiful prayer poems of Shabbat, a poem accredited to a great Rabbi of Tzfat. His name was Eliezer Hazikri, and he left us with this beautiful, beautiful doorway into Shabbat. Our tradition here at Beth Chaim is to sing the first, third, fifth, and final stanzas of Lecha Dodi. And before the final stanza, we join Jews all over the world who rise and turn towards the door to help us embody envisioning Shabbat, the Shabbat HaMalka, the Sabbath Queen, arriving in this space right now. Hi, lai, 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 lai. Hi, lai, 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 lai. Hi, lai, lai, lai. Hi, lai, 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 lai. Hi, lai, lai, lai. Hi, la, 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 la. Hi, la, 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 la. Hi, la, 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 la. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad hishmi'anu El ha'meuchad Adonai echad U'shemo echad l'shemu tiveret ve'litila lecha dodi likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekabela Mikdash melech Ir melucha kumitzei Mitoch ha'afecha rav lach shevet Be'emek ha'bacha v'hu yachamol Alayich emla lecha dodi Likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekavela Hitoreri, hitoreri kiva orech Kumi uri, uri, uri Shir daberi kavod Adonai Alayich nigla lecha dodi Likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekabela Boi b'shalom Ateret ala gam besimcha Uvetzala toch emune Am segula boi kala lecha dodi likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekabela.
I feel the presence of the Shabbat.
Shabbat, it's here.
Shabbat spirit. Rabbi Sam Bluestein writes, Kabbalat Shabbat often begins with Psalm 95, which reminds us that we will never be satisfied in the pursuit of the fulfillment of our own egos. Only by opening our hearts will we find peace and menucha, rest, a true Shabbat Shalom. This Psalm 95 says, in the voice of Adonai, "For 40 years I argued with that generation, but they are a people with a wandering heart that struggled to know my path." This prayer honors that struggle, the struggle in a place of great uncertainty, something we all know about.
40 shana akut bedo va'omaram to'e levavim 40 shana akut bedo va'omaram to'e levavim ve'hem lo yadu derachai ve'hem lo yadu derachai 40 shana akut bedo va'omaram to'e levavim 40 shana akut bedo va'omaram to'e levavim ve'hem lo yadu derachai ve'hem lo yadu derachai. In our Torah portion, after the tragedy of the death of the sons of Aaron, Moses, their uncle, tries to offer solace to Aaron and perhaps to himself. He says, "This is exactly what God meant when he said, 'I will be sanctified among those close to me, and I will thus be glorified.'" What? The rabbis try their best to make sense of this, but it doesn't speak to me at all. I do know when there is tragedy, people often feel the need to fill the silence with words. The most profound response is actually offered by Aaron in this Torah portion. The Torah says, "Vayidom Aharon," and Aaron was silent. It is one of the most eloquent and heartbreaking silences in the entire Torah.
When we were discussing and reflecting on this Torah portion this week, we came across a version of the Simon and Garfunkel song, "The Sound of Silence." It's sung by a Hasidic singer named Shulam Lemmer, based in New York. And there's just something about the way he sings it that really spoke to our hearts, and perhaps it will speak to you. Here it is.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I've walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light and split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never shared, and no one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fool, said I, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arm that I might reach you. But my words like silent raindrops fell and echoed the wells of silence. And then the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. And then the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. And the sign said the words of the prophet are written on his subway walls and tenement halls, and whispered the sound of silence.
Amen. We turn to pages 246, 247. Underneath the line on 246, we invite you to join in this kavanah, this intention for the Borchu prayer. If you're able, please rise in body or spirit. 246, beneath the line. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. And the blessing gives us strength and makes our visions clear. And the blessing gives us peace and the courage to dare. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Have a seat. We turn back to page 59 in our prayer books and sing the first line of our prayer, Ma'ariv Aravim, that welcomes the evening. It's coming dark. Shabbat is setting in. And please join us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidoro ma'ariv aravim.
Amen. Evening.
Evening.
The evening.
The evenings.
Evening the frayed edges of our lives. Ma'ari.
Ma'ari.
Aravi.
Aravi.
Amen. Bless Shekhinah, who spins day into dusk, with wisdom watches the dawn's gates open.
With understanding lets time and seasons come and go. With awe perceives the stars in lawful orbit.
Morning dawns, evening darkens, darkness and light yielding one to the other, yet each distinguished and unique.
Marvel at life, strive to know its ways, seek wisdom and truth, the gateways to life's mysteries. Wondrous indeed is the evening twilight.
El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravi.
Amen. Now we move into the Shema and Ve'ahavta. Please turn to page 65 in your Siddur and join us in this prayer of deep connection.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך, ובקומך, וקשתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. For the time of reflection for the Amidah, a silent meditation at the heart of our Kabbalat Shabbat, our welcoming of Shabbat service, we listened to a piece by the singers of Beit Havirim. It's called Kol Demama Daka, the still small voice within. The words come from the Torah, from 1 Kings, chapter 19, verses 9 through 13. It involves the prophet Elijah, Eliyahu Hanavi, who's communing with God during a time of great challenge. Elijah takes refuge in a cave. After being there all night, he hears a divine voice which says, "Come out and stand on the mountain before Adonai. And the Torah says, and Adonai passed by. There was a great and mighty wind, splitting mountains and shattering rocks by the power of Adonai. But God was not in the wind. After the wind, an earthquake. But God was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake, fire. But God was not in the fire. And after the fire, a soft, murmuring sound. When Elijah heard it, called Demama Daka, this soft, murmuring sound, he wrapped his mantle about his face and went out and stood at the entrance of the cave. And then a voice addressed him. Why are you here, Elijah? In times of great challenge, the Torah teaches us the profound value of listening to the still, small voice within. Please listen. So we have this powerful, impenetrable story of the tragic loss of two young priests, Nadav and Avihu, the oldest sons of Aaron. What do we do with this story? Our rabbis struggle mightily with it. Some more modern Torah commentators say that, well, they offer that perhaps Nadav and Avihu were actually in perfect communion with God, and that on this mystical journey, their souls simply left their bodies and entered into oneness with God. Again, I'm not quite sure what to do with that commentary either. I believe this is a very important story about tragedy. How does one respond to tragedy? What is the appropriate response to such a moment? What seems clear to me is that there are no words. Language fails us in these moments. The boy's father, Aaron, responds with a deafening silence.
Another commentary says that Aaron was only silent after he had finished crying. Maybe, but there is no actual mention of tears or cries or shouts, just a profound silence. We can try to imagine the quality of that silence. Is it like the silence of outer space, a timeless place, which is so far removed from daily life on earth that all tragedies and triumphs become meaningless? Psychologists would call that dissociation. Or is it like the silence on a battlefield after the battle has ended and all the soldiers have left or fallen? Now there is just the sounds of birds, insects, the wind. That would be called shock. But I believe it might be the silence of not knowing. A silence which communicates, I know nothing and I understand nothing, yet I am here and I am struggling to understand. Here is a poem by Rumi, which was shared with us in connection with this parsha. It's called Listening. Listen and feel the beauty of your separation, the unsayable absence. There is a moon inside every human being. Learn to be companions with it. Give more of your life to this listening. As brightness is to time, so you are to the one who talks to the deep ear in your chest. I should sell my tongue and buy 1,000 ears when that one steps near and begins to speak.
So what lesson, if any, are there to be found here about dealing with tragedy? Perhaps it is to open to God's presence through the hugs and compassion of those who love you and care for you in this moment. I don't believe in a God that would take away young people as a punishment for enthusiasm or passion. In times like these, all we have is one another, and there is no need for words. Ken Yehi Ratzon, so may it be. Amen.
Amen. We'd like to share a beautiful piece of music with you now by a Yiddish singer named Hannah G. It's called Silence, and you'll see that in this piece, she references a child who's crying out for support, for protection, to mother, to father, and then finds it in God, in the Shekhinah.
Alles ist still, Arim. Es hört sich bloß so weit auf die Stimme. Alles ist still, Arim. Es hört sich bloß so weit auf die Stimme. Tate, ich kann nicht sehen, Mama, wie bist du, was ist geschehen? Tate, wie bist du, ich kann nicht sehen, Mama, wie bist du, was ist geschehen?
We express our faith in a world in which peace is possible. Please sing with us, Oseh Shalom Bimromav.
Hi la 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 la, hi la 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 la, hi la 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 la, hi la 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 la, hi la 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 la, hi la 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 la, hi la 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 la. La 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 la, Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru, Amen. Hi la 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 la, hi la 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 la, hi la 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 la, hi la 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 la, hi la 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 la, hi la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We now invite you to visualize the loved ones and friends who are in need of a prayer for healing. In addition to those still struggling with COVID, we include all those in Ukraine who are fighting for their lives at this moment. If you are at home on Facebook, please type in the names of those you are offering this prayer for, and those here are invited to say names aloud in just a moment.
O God of compassion, source of healing, God who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, we pray to you on behalf of and we include Tzipora Rachel bat Esther ve'Aryeh, Batya bat Batya ve'Chaim, Samuel Pitlock, Bill Fisher, Arnie Gilbert, Yaakovit Elke bat Babarochel, Stephen Butter, Cindy Watkin, Tal bat Shmuel, Debbie Furman, Bob Arnold, James Siegel, Ado Jagoda, Bryce Kelly, Bonnie Adelson, Beth Siegel, Michael Ben Bela v'Yosef Chaim, Binyamin Leibush Chaim Ben Mordechai Zev, Malka bat Herschel v'Naomi, Andy Orgel, Harvey Finkel, Herb Holden, Naftali ben Yidel v'Shifra, Aharon ben Yerucham HaKohen, Mildred Bernstein, Jason Moss, Shira bat Chaim Mordechai v'Liba Dvora, Cheryl Adler, Shira bat Chaim v'Ruth, Judy Hesser, Charlotte Markowitz, Robert Glazier, Laurette Abrams, Savion Plum, David Ben David Vadina, Judith Damboic, David Ben Esther v'Aryeh, Bilha bat Eliyahu v'Chaya, Marco Gabriel Ghetto, Chaya Sarah Mina bat Rivka Bela, Naama Levana bat Avraham v'Sarah, Harav Miriam Yael Chaya bat Sarah, Binyamin Nachshon ben Esther V'Aryeh. Hilna Rafana La Refuah Shlema. Hilna Rafana La. Please heal this soul. Misheberach Avraham v'Sarah, Yitzchak v'Rivka, Yaakov, Rachel v'Leah, Elna Rafana La, Refuah Shlema, Elna Rafana La. Please heal this soul. With faith and love, together we bring hope and healing to those in need. Without judgment, without explanation, we are all God's creation. El Narefana La, Refuah Shlema. El Narefana La. Please heal this soul. Bless those in need of healing with Refuah Shlema, healing of body, healing of spirit. And please, dear God, give strength to those who lovingly provide them with care. And we say together, Amen.
Amen.
Amen. This week's Yortzeit list includes Gladys Weitzner, mother of Heidi Levine, Jacqueline Carter, sister of Tim Carter, Julius Ehrlich, father of Scott Ehrlich, Robert Reitzes, father of Jeff Reitzes, and Barbara Fagelson, mother of Stacy Levy. All those who are in the first year of mourning the loss of a close loved one are invited to rise to honor their memories. Anyone observing a Yortzeit tonight, please join them. And anyone else who feels the need to say the Kaddish Tome, the Mourner's Kaddish tonight, please rise. The Kaddish can be found on page 131 if your prayer book is at hand. For all these we say, Zichronam Livracha. May their memories forever be a blessing in our lives. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Bi'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach. Leolam uleomei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shemei dekudisha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. Oseh Shalom B'imromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'imru. Amen. Zecher Zecher, Zecher, Tzadikim Livracha, Livracha. May their memories bless our days, bless our days. Tomorrow night is our Ruach Havdalah service here in our Beth Chaim Sanctuary at 7 p.m. It's a short, lovely service of saying goodbye to Shabbat after this sweet time. Our sixth graders will be receiving their very own chumashim, their very own Torah texts. It's a sweet service. Everyone's invited to join us. We are in the midst of the 27th Annual East Bay International Film Festival. 15 days of great Jewish films are available to us. This year's festival features 29 inspiring and exciting films from all over the world. Our Beth Chaim congregation is proud to co-sponsor the Israeli rom-com One More Story, which will stream, I think it has just another night or two to stream.
And we are once again doing a virtual Beth Chaim communal Passover Seder on Zoom, Saturday night, April 16th, starting at 6 p.m. There's an RSVP link being emailed to members. Please look out for it and please RSVP. It's a fun event.
Remember, save the date. Circle your calendars. Saturday, May 21st, 6 p.m. here in our beautiful Beth Chaim Sanctuary is our Welcome Home Beth Chaim fundraiser. Please RSVP using the link provided in the happenings. It's going to be a very sweet time of connection. We hope everyone can join us.
And it'll be here in the sanctuary.
Right here. Yep. So it's now time for our Kiddush and Motzi. Everyone here in the sanctuary has been provided some wine by Larry Kandub, and we have challah that's also been provided. Debbie Roof's here. So we raise our cups. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim, l'chaim. L'chaim. And our challah.
Delicious challah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. We conclude our Shabbat, our welcoming of Shabbat, together with a prayer of hope, a prayer of peace. Please join with us. Hevenu shalom aleichem. Hevenu shalom aleichem. Hevenu shalom aleichem. Hevenu shalom, shalom, shalom aleichem. Hevenu shalom aleichem. Hevenu shalom aleichem. Hevenu shalom aleichem. Hevenu shalom, shalom, shalom aleichem.